Hello friends, how are you? Shall we start our class today? So let's go. The school gymnasium buzzed with excitement. It was the biggest event of the year. Students dressed in their best clothes, laughter echoing across the large space. The anticipation in the air was almost tangible. But for Camila, it was a nightmare unfolding in slow motion. She stood on the stage, gripping a microphone, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. This was her moment. She had practiced for weeks, pouring her soul into this performance. Yet, as she opened her mouth to sing, something went terribly wrong. A sudden slip. A stutter. The microphone let out an ear-piercing feedback noise. Laughter erupted from the crowd like a wave crashing over her. The popular kids in the front row, Lucas, Sophia, and their clique, were the loudest. Oh my God, did she really think she could sing? Sophia cackled, covering her mouth in mock disbelief. This is painful to watch, Lucas sneered, shaking his head. The laughter grew louder, bouncing off the walls, swallowing her whole. Camila felt the heat rise to her cheeks, tears threatening to spill. Her vision blurred as she turned and ran, the sound of their mockery following her like a haunting echo. She burst out of the gym, gasping for air, her chest tight. Her hands trembled as she pressed them against her face. Why did I even try? She whispered, her voice breaking. The cold night air bit at her skin, but she barely felt it. She had never felt so small, so worthless. But as the laughter still rang in her ears, something stirred deep inside her. A spark, a whisper, a promise. One day you will regret this. The next morning, Clara woke to the sound of her alarm blaring. She groaned, slapping the snooze button with more force than necessary. The room was still dark, the rain from the night before replaced by an eerie stillness. As she shuffled to the kitchen to make coffee, something felt off. The air was heavier, charged with an energy she couldn't quite place. She brushed it off as fatigue, pouring herself a cup and leaning against the counter. That's when she noticed it. Her favorite mug, the one with the tiny crack in the handle, was gone. She frowned, opening cabinets and scanning the shelves. It wasn't there. She was sure she'd left it in the sink the night before. Weird, she muttered, grabbing a different mug. The strangeness didn't end there. On her way to work, the bus driver, a man she'd seen every day for years, greeted her by name. Except she was certain they'd never spoken before. His smile was too knowing, his eyes lingering on her a beat too long. At the office, things were even more bizarre. Her coworker, Lisa, handed her a file without being asked, saying, "I figured you'd need this today." Clara stared at her, confused. She hadn't mentioned anything about the file to anyone. By lunchtime, Clara's unease had grown into full-blown paranoia. She sat at her desk, staring at her computer screen, when an email popped up. The subject line read, "You asked for this." Her heart skipped a beat. She clicked it open, but the message was blank. Just a single symbol, a spiral like a galaxy spinning endlessly. Clara slammed her laptop shut, her hands trembling. This was too much. Coincidences were one thing, but this felt deliberate. As she packed up to leave, her phone buzzed. An unknown number had sent her a text. "Be careful what you wish for." The words sent a chill down her spine. Something was coming. And it was coming for her. The days turned into weeks, and the pain that once consumed Camila began to transform. It didn't fade completely. No, it was still there, like a scar that refused to heal. But now it served as a reminder. A reminder that she had two choices: remain broken or rebuild herself. She chose the second. At first, it was small changes. She stopped avoiding people. She started walking with her head held higher, even when the whispers followed her. At night, instead of crying, she stayed up reading, learning, absorbing knowledge. She threw herself into studying, determined to be the best in everything she touched. But it wasn't just academics. She discovered a love for writing. The same emotions that once drowned her now poured onto paper, turning into stories, poetry, and lyrics. Writing became her refuge, her power. And she worked harder than anyone. While others partied, she studied. While they mocked, she improved. Years passed. The shy, broken girl they once laughed at no longer existed. She had transformed. One day they will see. And that day was coming sooner than anyone could have imagined. The town hadn't changed much, same streets, same places, same familiar faces. But Camila had. She stepped out of the sleek black car, adjusting the elegant coat draped over her shoulders. Her name was now known far beyond the borders of this small town. Her work, her talent, her strength had taken her places those who once mocked her could never have imagined. But today she was back. The event was a grand reunion bringing together former students from her high school. Camila knew they would be there. Lucas, Sophia, the same people who once humiliated her. They had no idea who she had become. As she entered the beautifully decorated hall, the air buzzed with laughter and conversation. Well-dressed guests clinked glasses, reminiscing about the past. Camila scanned the room. No one recognized her at first. Then someone gasped. "Wait, is that her?" A voice whispered. The murmurs spread like wildfire. Heads turned. Sophia's eyes widened in shock. Lucas stiffened, gripping his drink a little too tightly. Camila walked through the room with quiet confidence, feeling every gaze follow her. But unlike that night years ago, this time it wasn't mockery. It was disbelief. Regret. She stopped in front of the group that once made her feel so small. The silence was deafening. Lucas opened his mouth, struggling for words, but nothing came out. Sophia forced a hesitant smile. Camila raised an eyebrow slightly and smirked. They didn't need to say anything. She already knew. They were regretting it. And this moment was only the beginning. The tension in the air was almost suffocating. Camila stood there, her presence alone enough to shake those who once humiliated her. Lucas cleared his throat, trying to regain composure. "Camila, wow, it's been a long time," he said, forcing a smile. Sophia quickly followed. "You look different." "Amazing, actually." Her voice wavered, betraying the confidence she once had. Camila tilted her head slightly, studying them. Once their words had pierced her like knives. But now? They meant nothing. She chuckled softly, shaking her head. "It's funny," she mused, "how time changes things." Lucas shifted uncomfortably. The once arrogant, untouchable boy now looked small. "You know, we were just kids back then," he said, trying to sound casual. "We didn't mean any harm." Camila's eyes darkened slightly, but her smile remained. "No, Lucas. You meant every word. You laughed, you humiliated, and you enjoyed it." She took a step closer, lowering her voice just enough for them to hear. "But I want you to know you didn't break me." Sophia swallowed hard. "Camila, I don't need your apologies," Camila interrupted, her voice calm yet firm. "I don't need anything from you. The only difference between then and now is that I no longer care about what you think." Lucas looked away, shame flickering in his eyes. The weight of their past actions was finally crushing them. Camila smiled, a real, confident smile. I used to think I wanted revenge, she admitted. But standing here, seeing you like this, I realize I've already won. She turned, walking away without another word. And for the first time, they were the ones left behind, drowning in regret. The weight of silence pressed down on them. The once powerful voices of Lucas, Sophia, and their friends were now nothing but whispers lost in the crowd. Camila stood tall, unshaken, her presence alone enough to make them uneasy. Lucas finally spoke, his voice uncertain. Camila, wow. You've really changed. She let out a soft chuckle. I suppose I have, she said, tilting her head slightly. But you haven't. Sophia shifted uncomfortably, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Listen, we were just stupid kids back then. We didn't realize. Oh, you realized exactly what you were doing, Camila interrupted, her voice calm but sharp. You enjoyed it. The humiliation, the laughter, the power you thought you had over me. She let the words sink in, watching as their expressions shifted from unease to shame. Lucas swallowed hard. Look, we're sorry. Camila studied him for a moment. Years ago, she would have dreamed of hearing those words. She would have imagined this exact moment, her standing tall while they begged for forgiveness. But now? She didn't need it. She smiled, but it wasn't out of kindness. It was the smile of someone who had already won. I don't need your apology, Lucas, she said simply. I don't need anything from you. Sophia's eyes darted around, searching for something, some way to turn things back to how they once were. But it was too late. Camila exhaled softly and looked around the room. You know, for a long time I thought I wanted revenge, she admitted. But now I see, the best revenge is simply becoming someone you can never reach. With that, she turned and walked away, her heels clicking against the polished floor. Lucas and Sophia watched her go, knowing, without a doubt, that they had lost something far greater than they could ever understand. And for the first time in their lives, they were the ones who felt small.